Sheath your weapons. The battle is won.
A skeleton! Not Privet's, thankfully. I hope this poor soul didn't die alone. Oh no, Privet! Wait, these aren't sheep bones. Maybe a horse? Poor thing.
Come and take us! Got it!
Privet's sash. I gave this to her as a present. Finding Privet's sash worries me. She'd never take that off. Unless she left it as a clue. She wants me to know she's here. The bones we found looked gnawed on, but none of them were sheep bones. So we know Privet came through here because we found her sash. But since we didn't see any sheep... Look, a trail of bones. Oh, still not Privet's. A good sign. Look at that natural bridge ahead. I bet the view is delightful. We're back. Ready now. Oh no, Privet! How could they put my beautiful friend in a cage? We absolutely must free her.
Taste our steel!
Sweet Privet, reunited at last! A cave exit is nearby. Come, Privet, let's get out of here. Oh, my dear Privet, I don't know how I could live without you. I must say, and I don't use... No, thankfully. Her wool is damp and dirty, with High Isle feels so peaceful. First thing, Privet needs a bath. She seems a little sad at the moment. You were quite... First thing, Privet...
You there!
Can we speak for a moment?
Yeah.
You return alone. I take it the news is not good. Grineer and Denise were not just retainers. They were friends. The Steadfast shall miss them, and so shall I. Grineer and Denise were helping arrange a banquet at Castle Navir. Then they were to collect the supplies and return here. What could they have seen that would cost them their lives? The banquet is just to welcome our royal guests to the island. The Ascendant Order, plundering Steadfast supplies and killing our retainers. Damn. It was brave of Grineer to try to fight back, but foolish. The supplies weren't worth their lives. So Lady Arabelle informed me. I'd hesitate to accuse anyone, but perhaps you should join me at Castle Navir. All the nobles of High Isle will be there, and if my retainers did see something at the castle, perhaps Duchess Ilea of House Duke.
It's a shame the Ascendant Order got to Lord Baccaro's retainers before you could. What could they have seen that warranted their deaths? Perhaps we'll learn more at Castle Navir, although I'm certainly not in the mood for a party. And our missing guests of honor until Ilea is the...
Might as well enjoy ourselves while we're here. Do you still prefer a Russafeld Red, my lady?
That would be delightful. Thank you, Baccaro. Introduce yourself to the nobility, my friend.
I don't believe we've met. John Mornard. A pleasure. My family is in shipping. We import goods from the mainland and send wares from the archipelago to markets in Tamriel. You're the investigator working with Lady Arabelle, aren't you? The Duchess explained everything to the court just before you arrived. If Lady Arabelle had consulted us, things would be different. We know what hazards await careless captains making the approach to High Isle. Her ships were simply unprepared. Don't tell me you buy into this Ascendant Order nonsense. A shadowy order of knights working to undermine the governments all across Tamriel? It's a ruse, my friend. A convenient fiction to protect the flawless name of House Dufort. Oh. Ilea gained her station by currying favor in High Rock. Then she made a show of backing Lord Baccaro's Steadfast Society. But ruining the peace talks and getting heads of state killed? Blame must be placed. And she'd never fall on that sword herself. My family ruled the archipelago for generations, but the Duforts were never happy in our shadow. They spent years poisoning the court against us. And when my uncle Avreep quietly supported King Rancer a few years back, it paid off for them. The High King stripped my uncle of the ducal title and gave it to the Duforts. It was an outrage, really. We took no part in Rancer's war. At least the Duforts didn't get everything they wanted. We kept most of our holdings, and it eats at them. Goodness, no. That honor falls to my cousin Leonard, and he can have it. I wouldn't want the responsibility. No, I'm content managing our affairs here on High Isle. I leave the larger concerns of the business.
Lord Bacaro has arrived, Duchess. He brought that Lady Arabelle with him.
Welcome to Castle Navir. You're Lady Arabelle's assistant, yes? Then you know these festivities are only for appearances' sake. Our guests of honor have yet to be found. Rest assured, I intend to bring the radicals behind this plot to justice. I'm aware of most things that happen on my isle. It's true we didn't connect reports of mysterious knights to the Ascendant Order until recently, but now that we know they are one and the same, we'll quickly bring them to heel. I suggest that you and Lady Arabelle leave this matter in our hands. My knights have already pinpointed several sites where the Ascendant Order gathers. They are scouring High Isle for our missing guests even as we speak. Which is why I prefer to handle this discreetly. I suspect House Mornard is behind this. They profit greatly from the war, and they still hold a grudge against my house for overshadowing their own. Frankly, I put nothing past them. My family builds ships. Our shipyards construct the finest vessels to ply the western seas. In reward for our service, High King Emmerich granted us the Duchy of Sisters. We rule with care and compassion for all, even the Mornards. One should be careful when talking about one's neighbors. Still, Count Mornard's dislike of my family is well known. Years ago, his father backed King Ronsar of Shornhelm in his dispute with High King Emmerich. Emmerich did not forget it. He punished Avric Mornard by stripping him of his ducal title and granting it to my father instead. The Mornards remain counts, with holdings and estates throughout the Isles. But the Duforts are now the Dukes of the Sisters. My family builds ships.
Such a waste. I have little patience for the vanity of our noble houses on the best of days. Right now, I'm sure we all have better things we could be doing. I suspect you agree. You're the one assisting. I try to keep up on matters of state, but I confess, Alea told us all about you. I am Count de Mard, the Duchess's brother and court mage of House Dufort. Tell me, has your investigation a hypothesis that matches my own? While my sister chases bandit knights across the countryside, I wonder about the druids who make the wild parts of High Isle their home. They have little love for civilized culture. They could be responsible. I don't think that storm was natural. The druids wield old magics and consort with spirits. It is well within their abilities to summon such a tempest. They mostly keep to themselves, but I suspect a ruse. Those are your cult. Magic is the legacy and heritage of the Breton people. Oh, I spent my time mastering the sword and knightly pursuits in my youth, but I believe that a true Breton must study both halves of our nature, and perhaps the ways of the druids, too. We Bretons trace our ancestry to Needs and Elves who intermingled during the early history of High Rock. Therefore, spellcraft is in our blood, and we all at least have some talent with magic. I find the subject fascinating. No, some have forgotten our traditions. Were it not for my talent, I doubt my sister would bother with a court mage. She sends me to look after Dufort interests in ports across Tamriel, rather than making full use of my arcane skills. A pity.
Might I offer you a refreshment, friend? Didn't think I'd miss this little soiree, did you? Listen, I have it on good authority from a very accommodating chambermaid, in fact, that the Duchess has been looking into the Ascendant Order on her own. Well, I've got a plan. Not Jakarn, waiter Fred. I'm in disguise. I told you about the chambermaid, right? She's one of the Duchess's personal assistants. Well, She told me where the Duchess keeps her sensitive documents, among other unmentionable items. Nobles and the upper staff never pay attention to the common help. I easily filched a key from that stuck-up steward Hercian. While I cause a distraction, you go take a look. Duchess, I'll lure the guard.
Something you need? I don't really take... It's good to see that someone...
Lords and ladies of the court, I dedicate this song and dance to the most buxom, curvaceous, voluptuous of all royals, Duchess.
This work isn't going to do itself.
Begins today. Join us, or be swept aside. Storm and fire will bring down. Lightning and lava will herald in a new age. This was a warning. No one is beyond our reach. Stand aside and you will find a place in the new regime. Stand against us and you will be brought to your knees.
Oh, good. You're all right. It's... Among the... Lord Bacaro, it may not be safe to return to Steadfast Manor.
Nonsense. I refuse to hide from these cretins. I'll double my guard, but they won't drive me from my home.
Very well. I'll check in with you later. Jakan, let's go.